Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Patreon. This will be a November Patreon. Um, this is a more kind of an R&D Patreon. So what I want to do today with you is a little bit of Houdini 20 R&D. I think there are a few new nodes, of course, but I will all tackle them in future videos because there is a lot. And I'm not into rigging, etc. Of course, like a little bit for commercials, for clients, studios, like product rigging. But for like rigging, skinning, I think new animation tools are out there, etc. So we will toggle that in the future. What I really also love to talk about on Patreon is the Franken muscle, and future in future videos maybe a few like motion graphics, like actual animation with RBD and Vellum in the next few months. And what I also want to do is some more particle simulation. But yeah, so for now we are in this shape R&D field here, which I really like to explore. We are in Houdini. Wait, let me just get my launcher here. We are in Houdini 20506. And there's actually a Redshift version, so those are rendered in Redshift. And the Redshift version is the 3.519, and it's an early build, I think, for Houdini 20. You can download it with on Redshift Maxon, and the link, I will post the link in the video description of the Patreon post. But the link is also on the Redshift Discord server under Houdini, and then Houdini 20 build up. And yeah, you can grab it here for Houdini and Solaris. So that's pretty cool. They are pretty fast. And I think for Octane, I think there will be a build soonish, I hope. Would be nice to also explore Houdini 20 a little bit with Octane. Of course, you can shift that between version files with BGO, etc. But it would be nice. But for, yes, Houdini 20 Redshift already there, a beta build. So that's pretty cool. Okay, enough talk. We will start with those kind of shapes here. First I give you a breakdown, and then we will start from scratch. So let's get this one. Started. Let's get the mask. Okay. So I started like really simple with basically 2 blocks. VDB that, and then the new cloud with noise is really cool to explore, and we will explore that. Converted that back, created an inverted mask to get like the shading mask, retransferred like the UVs on that to get like the stripes with Redshift, and that's basically it. So it's pretty simple, but I think you can get like a ton of really cool shapes out of this. So for example, this one here is like, I don't know, like a desktop. Let's just cook that quickly. So I think that could be could be something like a working desk. Let's just let that cook, for example. So we can play around with this, and yeah, get an interior, exterior design. Why not? That's the cool thing about Houdini and the workflows. Let me get a sip of tea here, and then we will get actually started. Oh, and for example, the Redshift setup is pretty simple, but we will build that again, and we will make a few iterations on that. Okay, cool. So we can leave the ground for now. The ground is just basically plain, so there's nothing special about it. Let's just kill those lights or not display them. Okay, and we'll dive in here. So let's start here on the left side. So what I want to do, I want to start first of all with a basic box, and we will make the base setup, and then we will dive in the cloud, wispy noise, etc. So I think they are pretty cool because they are also in the, oh my god, in the WOP tools, and I think that's pretty nice. Okay, so let's start up here with a box. I will just copy the box, and for this kind of thing, maybe I want to get like 2 boxes on top of each other. So I will just move that one. And why not make this smaller? So you can now play around with different shapes. And of course you can get inspiration from, I don't know, different designers that played with shapes. So like those primitive shapes. I think what is also cool to get inspiration from Vitra, for example. So Vitra design shapes. Okay, that's not the one. But for example, Vitra Design Museum. I was there like a few months ago, and yeah, why not get hooked from those shapes and yeah, just build them, or primitive shapes. And then you can play all around with them, so lay them out differently. You can make a drawing, of course. You can also use Pinterest. I think that's also sometimes cool. For example, just search shapes, and maybe behind it design or drawing, I don't know. It will not load. Now it will load. Okay, maybe my ad blocker. Okay, it was my ad blocker. So you can dive in there, for example, oh, that one here, for example. Just adapt that, let that inspire you. So I think there is a lot of inspiration out there. But I want to get rid of those ads here. And that's, yeah, the cool thing. Okay, now it will load. or something like that. So it can, of course, slice shapes. So just to give you like a first push where you can find that, so Google Images, of course, Pinterest, Arena is also nice. Arena. I'm currently not logged in, but this is also a cool website to get inspiration, because it treated like the algorithm is like not so uniform, and that's a cool thing. But yeah, try out Pinterest, for example, for the start, Arena, and Google Images. And I think you can find a lot of cool shapes here. But yeah, I will just go for that one, whatever that is, and will maybe iterate a little bit longer on those. So maybe I want to get this a little bit thinner, but intersect down here. And this one a little bit longer. Okay, cool. So we got our basic shapes here. And what I want to do, I want to place a null here and rename the null. And with the, let me just close Discord. With the null here, we can then again and again and again push further base shapes in. So this will be our main input. So this will be in shapes. Okay, cool. So we got our null for the intake. And what I just want to do is to place a match size. And I want to move them up on the y-axis to 0. Just min. Now they are moved up. Okay, cool. Then after that, what I want to do, you can see it here. I want to convert it to a VDB. And we will just do that for the UVs. And okay, cool. So this will be the, let's get an auto UV here. And a quick shade. So this will be our UVs. Pretty simple. So you can play with those. You can also, of course, use other methods to unwrap that, but for something like that, I find it pretty cool to get like the quick auto UV bashed on there. And let's just get a merge threshold not so high. So something like that. Yeah, that should be fully fine. Okay, cool. So we got our UVs here. And after that, what I want to do, VDB convert. Polygon. VDB from polygons. And I don't know what resolution I used here, so 0.01. And then what I want to do, I want to convert the VDB again, but back to polygons to just subdivide the whole thing. And after that, you can even subdivide it again, because why not? And now you got like your base shape, but in a higher resolution, which is pretty nice. After that, what I want to do, I want to convert it back, but to a fog volume, and then play with the cloud noise. So that's a cool thing. So we will first build that whole thing up, and then we will do R&D on that. And we will build the shader. But let's just do that. So what I want to do, I want to convert again a VDB from polygons, but I want to convert into density. And I think I got a fairly high res here, so 0.005. Let's just go for 0.005 and not 2.5. And then there is the new cloud noises. So wispy noise is new, billow noise is new, shape generate is I think also new. This will create like round shapes, and then you can iterate on those and yeah, really create quickly nice clouds. And of course there are on YouTube are already the Houdini 20 deep dive videos from the Houdini Hive presentation, so be sure to watch those. But I see me in the future here to make some, of course, other videos with those nodes in other contexts, because of course they are nice for clouds, but you can use them otherwise. For example, now in this context, what we are currently doing to create those abstract shapes. So what I want to do, I want to place down our cloud wispy noise. And then you can see something will happen, but what I want to do is override the look so we can see it better. So now the cool thing, let's make that a little bit bigger here. You got different things you can toggle and untoggle. So first things are like the sub-steps and the iterations. So I think that's like pretty cool. So you can do like more sub-steps, you can get another 5 iterations, for example. Let's just cook that through. And you can see it will collapse like the shape more. What's already also nice is to play with wind. So this is like, let's make a wind direction from the top. And for example, you can decrease the strength a little bit. And that's already pretty cool. What you also could do, -1. And you get something like this. Okay, let's just currently convert the shape. So convert VDB to polygons. And what you need to do to convert this is to play with the ISO value. And I think I used a pretty low ISO value here, so 0.01. And now we've got our geometry back. And the cool thing is we've got those like flat shapes or flat sides, and also those carved out eroded sides. So what I want to do after that, I want to create a mask for the shaders. And what we will do, we will generate another VDB out of that, and we will combine that with the overall shape to make like a negative shape, and then we will use that inverted shape, the negative shape, to create a mask from geometry. So let's just do that. First of all, let's place a smooth here to just smooth that a little bit out. And what I want to do, I want to get another VDB from polygons, but now distance VDB. So this will be shape number 1. And I want to copy this thing, make another one from the top one. So our overall, basically our initial shape here. And what I want to do with that is to just combine those. So combine VDB. This is 1, this is 2. And now we will do the difference. Switch the inputs. And yeah, here we go. So what we want to do, convert that back into a VDB. and the polygons. And now we need a mask from geometry. And I think they revisited that node, because when you pipe that in here and that in here, it will take not massively long, but longer than the usual node. And what you can do, just like distance outside geometry, so you can now like switch the distance metric, and we will just use distance from surface. Then switch that over here. And what I want to do, whoops, switch it. And let's just decrease the radius and switch it. Make a pretty harsh contrast here between those. Yeah, and just create like a mask. So this will be our geo. And what I also want to do is to attribute blur the mask a little bit. So we don't want to blur position, we want to blur the mask. And maybe just 1 or 2 iterations. I think that should be fully fine for the shader. Okay, cool. Now we've got that. And what I then want to do is to retransfer the UVs. So attribute transfer. You can do it with the attribute transfer or the labs transfer. In this case, I used the normal attribute transfer because I think that worked out way better to just quickly transfer the UVs on it. So when we place down here a quick shade, those looking pretty nice. And after that, we can place down a material or as matte shape. Let's call it shape, or let's call it R&D shape. Okay, and yeah, that's basically the whole geometry tree. So the nice thing is now, of course, we can iterate, but let's just first set up our... Maybe it will look cooler when that's on that side. I think that looks a little bit more aesthetic. Okay, cool. The cool thing is, okay, first we will place, build the shader, and then we will start. Okay, what I got here is just like a... Those are not good namings for the camera, I know. Just a normal autographic redshift camera. And let's dive in here. This is camera number 7. And let's just use a square aspect ratio. So maybe 2K by 2K, that should be fine. And what I want to do, I want to place on one more dome light. I think sometimes R&D setups are a little bit fucked up because they're yeah, I do that like with a certain not timing behind it, but it don't need to be like perfect. It's not like a massive client project. You will spend weeks or months in your Houdini files. Of course, in like a first state of R&D, I also do that on client studio projects, but then clean like up the setup, because I think that's pretty important, so you know where you are in your scene, etc. Where are specific setups, where are the shaders, where are the lights, the camera, the different cutting scenes. But yeah, this is a little bit chaotic here, and I embrace it. Because why not? Okay, here's already a simple HDRI from the Grayscale Gorilla Pro Metal Studios. loaded up. There are also really nice ones from Polyhaven, so be sure to check them out. They also got like a few indoor studio HDRs, which are really nice, especially those Studio Small 8 and 9. And what I also like is the Hardlight Studio. Where is it? This one here. So yeah, be sure to check them out. They're really nice. You can download them in 4K, 8K, 16K of resolution and play around with those. So I think those are really, really nice for lighting. And here are way more. And of course also the other HDRs. Okay, I already created like a simple Redshift setup, nothing fancy. The materials are already set up. Let's just make a new material here. RS Mats R&D. Let's call it just 001. And let's get a standard material in here. And we will set up our material in a second, but now camera 7, let's just rename that camera close up. It's orthographic, and this will be R&D cam 0011. Okay, now we can, let me just enable autosave. Now we can start the render. And refresh the render. Okay, let's see. Cool. This is now our render. Looking pretty sick. Okay, now we can start here a little bit. So first of all, I want a little bit more contrasty look, so maybe something like that. So just rotated the HDR. Of course, what you also can do, what I also did is for another shot, I think for that shot here, just manually light the scene. We can also do that in a few minutes. But yeah, let's get just the overall look with the shader. So after that, we can dive in here. Okay, let's start with a material blender. And let's just copy the material and color import our mask. So when you don't know it, but we can use our mask from geometry, the mask that we created, the red mask. We can use that to blend between different shaders or textures, and so on and so on. And the cool thing is we will do that right now. But first of all, let's apply our material. So this will be this one. And let's jump in here. Let's see, still recording. Okay, perfect. Is it? Yes. So we will use the material blender, and let's just get the first material in here, and we will use the second. Just let's get an orange kind of a material here. This will be our other layer color, and this will be our blend color. So the blend color is our mask, basically. Okay, so for this one, I want to create this metallic material. And this is, yeah, pretty easy. We just need like a maxo noise. And what we can do with that, let me just pipe that in here. We will set that on the UV vertex attribute. And let's go for Luca. And we will scale one portion here just down. Let's go maybe for 0.02. And what I want to do, I want to maybe decrease the contrast a little bit, 0.15. And then I want a bump. Let's get a bump map. Get that into our bump input. And let's have a look. So we got our machine polished brushed stripes here. Of course, you can also experiment with this method and refine it. This was just like a really quick setup to get it working. And we can also make the scale, I think, a little bit larger. And you can also accelerate one parameter here to get just like only stripes, or you can scale it also a little bit down to get like, yeah, a little bit elongated. But yeah, this will, I think, something like 0.5 or 2, I think is nice. And then what we can do, I will introduce now like a metallic look. You can use whatever you like. So this would be like a more metallic look here. And what I want to do, I want to really decrease like the scale of this. So that, I think it should be there like a little bit, but it can be really subtle. So that's like the cool thing when you shade it like that. Okay, we shaded the first one, and for the second one you can basically do whatever you like. For example, why not go for like a subsurface material look? Why not? So could be something like that, or something like that. So what I did, I created this, yeah, kind of stone material. So let's just do that. But I think subsurface scattering or maybe glass, I think. Glass would be also nice, but yeah. Okay, let's go for the stony look. So what I want to do, I want to create two noises, and just get them in here, and let's get a little bit of more space here. So what I want to do, I want to create like a first noise. For example, a Luca noise. And I want to make that one bigger. And then I want to create a second one. A smaller one. And then maybe a third one. Let's get first rid of the zero offset maybe. And then a third one, maybe the turbulence. I think that could be nice to add some contrast. Maybe on the 0.75 scale. And yeah, increase the contrast a little bit. And then we can get the color composite node, and we can composite basically in our material editor. We can composite those noises together. So I want this on average, and then I want another one. And you could do that on average too, or for example on multiply. I think average should be fine and do the job pretty well. So what I want to do, I want to just quickly pipe that material in here and have a look at the bump shading. So let's create a bump map. And of course this is way too high. So I think 0.015 should do a good job. And then what I want to do is get a scalar ramp and just pipe that into roughness. Let's go for more lackish material. And I want to increase, whoops, that was too much, increase the roughness like a little bit. But I think it would be nice to have a little bit more shiny spots. And after that, let's get a normal ramp and remap the color for the base color. So here you can basically use everything. But I think a more monochromatic look would be nice. So let's go from a really bright gray to like a dark gray. So we got some, like really some subtle differences in the color. We could go also, I think a little bit darker would be nice. I think that's cool. And does not look too shabby. That's look like a T for Tim. That's cool. Yeah, now of course you can play with the perspective, you can play with the camera, you can play with the shapes. So let's go for this kind of view here. But of course the light looks now basically awful. So let's just rotate the dome light to get a little bit better lighting. And what I want to do, I want to decrease that here a little bit. So let's go back in our shader. Let's decrease that again. And what I want to do here, I want to increase it here a little bit. I think that's cooler. And it looks better. Okay, cool. Then after that, so we got our shader. Let's just experiment with the cloud noise. Let's make a few iterations here. And why not start again with another shape? Maybe I want to go this all the way through. Let's go for like a really symmetrical shape. So copy and transform. And let's make this shape maybe a little bit thinner. And what we can do here, well, not like a symmetrical shape, but a little bit more minimalistic. Of course, the shape before was also minimalistic. But why don't do something like that 3 times? Okay, we definitely don't need a merge, but let's just leave it here. Or maybe we need the merge because I want another shape. sitting in here, pushing like completely through. Yep, why not? Okay. Let's convert this and let's have a look. Let's copy our cloud wispy noise here. And let's have a look. It's already looking cool. Let's just exclude the wind factor here. And let's go for effect noise. Oh, that looks really nice. That looks cool. Let's go for one substep. Element size scale. Let's go smaller. Okay, let's go larger. Let's go a little bit larger. Okay, that's looking cool. So it's like pretty broken up on the one side, but pretty cleanish on the other side, which I really like. The cool thing is what you also can do. You can animate the whole thing with for example, the offset. So when you, let's just quickly try that out, how that could look. So let's just go for $T and make a quick flip book here. Can maybe make the whole thing slower. So times 0.15. And of course you could get the same thing here. Let's just bake a few frames here. And I think that looks not too shabby. Let's play that. Yep, you could totally use that. Why not? Nice. Okay, that's cool. So, yeah, keep that in mind. You can animate this, of course. And I think here's also the evolve noise. Oh, I see. Let's see what they did here. Let's just try that out. Okay, I think, or that could, wait, let me just read the description. There is no description, but evolve noise, that could be like a parameter that could be animated. Or maybe with the higher substeps, that could be a thing. Yep. Okay, with the higher substeps. Cool. That's nice to know. Let's get here some more substeps in maybe. And let's have a look how that will look with 3 substeps. Okay, cool. And let's pipe that thing back into our convert. head's looking also nice. What I want to do, I want to go on this little, on this, what the fuck? What's going on with my audio? I hope you can still hear me. Yep, that should be fine. Let's just give that shape another light. Just rotate that on the contrasty side, and I think that will look way better. Or what you can do, of course, got a light down here. This light got a grayscale gorilla texture in there. And oh, that's looked nice. That's currently backlit, of course. So the light should be something around here. Okay, yeah. And then you can, of course, manually light that thing up. You could go for like a top down, which I think sometimes it's like really nice. Also when you go for like a top down with a pretty wide spread, so you get a pretty soft light. But of course you can also get like a more harsh light when you reduce the spread. Or you can go for something like, yeah, this backlight here. Or like a side light. I think a side light should be really nice. To like highlight those areas. And then another one to maybe fill in a little bit the shadows. And you could play around with color. And yeah, create, of course, another look on your shape. Okay, I think that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm looking really forward to new Houdini 20 tutorials. Of course, I need to do own RD in Houdini 20 because there are a lot of new things to tackle on, to deep dive in. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.